Today's lesson is Lesson 80, found on page 531, Adding and Subtracting Mixed Measures and Polynomials. Let's first look at how to add and subtract things of mixed measure. I'm first going to add 37 minutes 25 seconds, 42 minutes 15 seconds, and 36 minutes 45 seconds. I would first add the seconds. When I add the seconds, I get 75 seconds. Adding the minutes, I get 115 minutes. But we can't go over 60 in the unit of measure when we're using time. So I have to change the 75 seconds so that it's something that I'm used to seeing. So I have to subtract 60 seconds so that I can get 15 seconds left over. The 60 seconds equals 1 minute, so I have to then add that 1 minute to the minutes that I got previously when I added the minutes together. I now have 116 minutes. But again, I can't leave that as 116 minutes. I have to subtract 60 minutes because I know that 60 minutes is an hour. My simplified answer is then 1 hour, 56 minutes, 15 seconds. The second example is subtracting. When I am subtracting, sometimes I have to borrow, which can be confusing. What we have to always know is the proper unit conversion. In this example, we have pounds and ounces, so we have to remember that 1 pound is 16 ounces. So that when we borrow a pound, we remember to add 16 instead of just making this 6 and putting that 1 in the front there. That's the biggest mistake that people make. If I borrow a pound, making 12 pounds into 11 pounds, I'm adding 16 to the number that was already there. So when I add 6 and 16, I get 22. It's 22 which subtracts 9 to get 13 left over. 13 ounces, and then I have 11 pounds minus 5 pounds is 6 pounds. So my answer is 6 pounds, 13 ounces. Moving on to polynomials. Poly is the word that means many. If you remember when we first learned about polygons, we learned that poly means many. Here we're talking about the terms of an expression or an equation. If the term is only one, then it is a monomial. If I have a number next to a variable, that is one term. If it has several variables, but there is no addition or subtraction symbol, then it's still only one term. It's when the addition or subtraction symbol is introduced when we have more than one term. Here we have a binomial because we have two terms. Terms are subtracted by addition and subtraction symbols. Here is a trinomial because we have the first term, the second term, and the third term. Mono means one, bi means two, and tri means three. When I'm speaking of the degree of the polynomial, then I'm paying attention to the exponents of the variables. The degree of a polynomial is the highest degree of any of its terms. If a term has one variable, the degree of the term is the exponent of the variable. If a term has more than one variable, the degree of the term is the sum of their exponents. Let's see how that works. If I have a monomial 4x squared, then it only has one variable, one term, one variable. The degree of the monomial is 2 because the exponent is 2. Here we have a binomial. Paying only attention to the variable's exponent of 2, we know that the degree of this binomial is 2. Here we have a trinomial. Looking at the first term, its degree is 4. The second term has a degree of 2, and the third term has the degree of 0. Since 4 is the biggest number, the degree of the trinomial is 4. Here I have another monomial. There's no addition or subtraction symbols here. A has an exponent of 1, B has an exponent of 1, C has an exponent of 1. When I add 1 plus 1 plus 1, I get 3. Therefore, the term of this monomial is 3. The degree of this monomial is 3. Looking at the binomial that I have next, A has an exponent of 2, B has an exponent of 5. The degree of the first term is 7. A has an exponent of 1, B has an exponent of 7, so the degree of the second term is 8. Since 8 is bigger than 7, the degree of the binomial is 8. Looking at the last example, the first term has the degree of 6, the second term has the degree of 4, and since 6 is bigger than 4, the degree of the binomial is 6. Remember, we ignore the numerical part. We do not pay attention to the numbers. We only pay attention to the variables and their exponents. When I'm giving a polynomial that is not in standard form, it is a good habit to put it in standard form. Standard form is just arranging the terms in descending order, which means the biggest exponent is listed first. The next biggest exponent is listed second, and continuing until we get to the term that has no variable. If I'm going to add polynomials, all I have to do is add the terms that are like. If I'm adding 3x plus 2y plus 7 with 4x minus y plus 2, then I would add the terms that are alike. 3x plus 4x is 7x. 2y minus y is 1y, or just y. And then 7 plus 2 is 9.